Into the Dead, originally released around December 2012, this game has been cemented into my memories for a long time. Being a fun game where you run from the zombie hordes, do your best to survive for as long as possible, it's an absolute blast. For now though, let's dive into it. Upon first glance, we're greeted with a crashed helicopter, burning and beyond repair. Zombies stumble around the crashed helicopter, looking for anything they can sink their teeth into, forever hungry and desperate to take a bite out of us. In the distance, the silhouette of a large city can be seen, most likely where we were headed to before our sudden crash landing. We're with a pilot of the copter, or simply a passenger on the way to some form of salvation. Whatever the case, we can't ponder on this for long. The idle undead surrounding the copter spot us and make their way towards our location. Running away from the crash site, we begin our tiring, endless journey. The sound of the helicopter flying overhead and its sudden crash having drawn the attention of thousands of the undead, all swarming towards the location of a potential meal. Luckily, the zombies are walkers, stumbling along at a slow pace. We can outrun them at the very least. However, the further we progress from the crash site, the denser and more populated the hordes of the undead become, soon creating walls of rotten flesh, the thought of escape from this nightmare becoming slimmer and fainter with every desperate step, each stride becoming harder than the last. Exhaustion, no doubt, will take over the poor man. One wrong step, he trips up, his adrenaline-fueled mind not seeing the zombie he sprints towards, running into it and being pushed back. Exhausted and too weak to fight back, succumbing to his fate, being no more than a meal for the mass amounts of undead that crowded around the struggle. This is the fate we all succumb to, no matter how much we struggle. Escape simply isn't an option, but struggle more and more, all for the glimmer of hope to shine brighter and brighter, an endless cycle, stuck in an undead nightmare. To combat this, however, we can find crates along the journey, ordnance left behind, most likely by soldiers. Picking up a weapon, we gain a brief edge and a fighting chance too. From the weapons we can pick up, we have the pistol, a small sidearm, a last resort for a soldier in the apocalypse, but for us it's a lifeline. This isn't a powerful weapon by any means. It takes 2 shots to kill one of the undead. Uncommonly we'll land a headshot, being a killing blow in one single bullet. However, 2-tapping is always much safer, rather than gambling on each shot fired at the undead. Next up, the chainsaw, a brutal choice for a weapon, but in this desperate situation, any form of offense to fight back is welcome. Being a short-range melee weapon, the chainsaw shreds through the undead flesh like butter, literally carving a path in an attempt for freedom, or at least a few precious seconds. A classic zombie killer, the shotgun. A pump-action shotgun can clear out small groups of zombies in a single shot, tearing through the opposing force and gaining some much-needed breathing room amongst the hordes of the undead. The revolver, a double-action pistol we for some reason fire in single action. Unlike its magazine-fed counterpart, the revolver drops a zombie in a single shot, but in turn it has a slow fire rate and a much lower ammo capacity, meaning placing your shots can be the difference between life or death. The submachine gun, a small compact SMG with a large mag size. It usually takes 1 to 3 shots to drop a zombie. Firing more is better than less. Just like with the pistol, it's a gamble that can be dangerous. Grenades, the essence of crowd control. A well-placed grenade can clear out a large area, easily sweeping a small clearing for us to safely traverse, though the act of pulling the pin and throwing it is cumbersome and should be thrown at the right time. Throwing it too late before you run into the zombie will simply let the zombie get a free hit on you, ending your run. The rifle, a high caliber bolt action rifle. Each shot can pierce through one zombie and hit the other right behind it. The piercing shots can clear out small lanes in the hordes, but the fire rate is exceptionally slow. Be careful when placing your shots. The assault rifle. The assault rifle shoots in 3-round bursts. With a mag size of 30, you have 10 bursts. Each burst has the potential to drop 3 zombies and can carve a decent path. Finally, the minigun. This behemoth of a gun is no joke. With immense stopping power and a large ammo capacity to back it up, it can easily take you a long way before you need to pick up a new weapon from a crate. That said, it has a brief spin-up time and can be very dangerous if you're only going to just fire right before running into a zombie. Each weapon has its purpose, and they can be a welcome ally in the desperate time. Alongside the armory of weapons we can stumble upon, there's also a dog we can find once in a while. Found tearing up a zombie on the ground, the dog is happy to have a living companion to run alongside. Occasionally it will tackle a zombie, killing it with a swift bite. Usually the canine companions will take out a few zombies before leaving our side. However, if you activate the perk at the start of the run, you can keep the dog with you until the end of the run, being a welcome companion throughout the whole run. Throughout the adrenaline-fueled sprint, there's a few different environments we can stumble upon too. The first is the forest. The trees are imposing and blocking small points of view. Sometimes zombies hide behind them, waiting for us to run into them. The fog here is particularly thick. Also, there's the cornfields. The cornfields are a death trap. Zombies hide amongst the corn. Your best option is to pick a lane and run down it. However, this isn't always safe, given that zombies still stand in the lanes and in between the corn too. If you don't have a weapon, there's a very decent chance you won't make it out to the other side. Outside of the classic mode, there's a few others. Massacre mode. In this mode, we have to take down as many undead with us before we succumb to the hordes. The hordes of the undead are very dense and populated in this mode. Some of the weapons shine brighter than others here, like the assault rifle, the shotgun, grenades, and the minigun. Hardcore mode. In this mode, you select 3 weapons to pick up throughout the run. These will be the only weapons you will encounter for the duration. However, there's a very likely chance that when you pick up one of these 3 weapons, it will have a partially depleted ammunition salvo. Anywhere from a few shots to 80% of the ammo can already be depleted when you pick up the weapon. In this instance, maybe they were used by another survivor before being dumped back at the crate. The final mode is flashlight. Unfortunately, the helicopter crashed in the middle of the night. It's pitch black. Armed with nothing more than the trusty flashlight, we have to navigate through the undead presence. The zombies are much more imposing and threatening here, given you can see them through the occasional lightning strikes as well as their bright glowing eyes, but some of them are looking straight down, meaning you can't see their eyes in the pitch black. This mode is extremely tense compared to the others. You have to keep the flashlight off in segments so it can recharge, but also flash it on occasionally to see if any undead are approaching with their head down. After everything's said and done, I love this game. It's another great, endless runner. It's got a gritty, dark theme and atmosphere compared to a lot of others in its genre, and for that, I enjoy it a lot. But in comparison, its sequel, Into the Dead 2, degrades and improves on it at the same time. We'll tackle that another time though, that's its own beast. Thank you for watching. I hope I got you hooked on this cool game, or at least you enjoyed hearing me ramble on about it. I'll catch you next time, mate.